Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, a record-breaking government shutdown may finally be coming to an end tonight. We'll have the latest live from Washington, D.C. Plus, Upper Peninsula lawmakers are sounding the alarm on energy sustainability in the region. And Marquette County's public transit system is seeing record ridership, but major funding cuts are making it tough to meet demand. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Hey there, Kelly Rowland. It is so dark out there. I'm still getting used to it, but how's our weather looking?
Yeah, good evening, Kevin. It's still something we have to get used to, that daylight saving time. It's getting darker and darker, earlier and earlier. So that's why it's important as we head through the winter time, start to maybe get a new hobby to try to just get ahead of that darkness for most of the day. But skies are also dark from that cloud cover. We still have some of those lake enhanced type of showers, maybe even a few wet snowflakes flying around near the Marquette area. Tonight, temperatures will be around freezing for the most part, still some upper 30s into Munising, and we're staying rain-free for the night. We'll have sunshine tomorrow. We're turning the leaf away from all that snow, and I'll have a sneak peek at your weekend in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Kelly. Thank you very much. Tonight, all eyes are on the U.S. House of Representatives, which is expected to pass a funding bill to reopen the government in the next few hours. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon is live on Capitol Hill, where the more than 6-week shutdown appears to be coming to a close. Brendan, good evening.
Hey there, Kevin. Good evening to you. That's right. The House is positioned to consider this Senate-passed funding package around 7:30 or 8 o'clock this evening. It would fund the government through January after a whopping record-breaking 43-day government shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Republican leaders here on Capitol Hill have spent most of the day trying to whip the necessary votes given their very slim GOP majority. However, both Republican leadership and the White House are confident that this will pass. The shutdown has already taken a toll. Nearly 900 U.S. flights canceled today, hundreds more delayed, and the Trump administration is warning of further travel disruptions just over a week before the busiest travel period of the year. SNAP recipients are also in limbo after the Supreme Court decided to keep full payments on hold. Democrats are split over the deal. The majority of them are very upset with the 8 Senate Democrats who sided with Republicans late Sunday night to strike this deal. The GOP is calling it a major win that closes the chapter on what they have dubbed the Democrat shutdown. Tonight also marks the House's first vote in nearly 2 months. House Democrats have criticized their Republican colleagues for not being here to negotiate a deal that includes an extension of those ACA tax credits. I asked one House Republican about that earlier today. Why didn't House Republicans come back to make an effort to negotiate?
Because House Republicans would not be involved in it. It had to be in the Senate. We did our job in the House. We sent it to the Senate. This was completely the Democrats refusing to get on board and put this across the finish line.
And Kevin, the House also has, since they're back in session, this is the first day that one new Democratic Congresswoman was officially sworn in, and she is the 218th signature that is needed for a discharge petition to release those Jeffrey Epstein files that we were talking a lot about a few months back. That discharge petition would basically allow all Democrats and a handful of Republicans to bypass Republican leadership and force a vote on legislation that requires the release of all Epstein files. We're going to see how that plays into tonight's vote. But even if that discharge petition does pass the House, it faces a steep uphill battle in the Senate. And of course, this method has been criticized by President Donald Trump consistently. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that as well. But for now, reporting live on Capitol Hill for WZMQ 19 News, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Kevin, back to you.
Brendan, thank you very much. The White House says they are eager for Congress to approve the government funding bill, but tucked away in this bill is a provision that could undo one of the president's priorities. Our other D.C. correspondent, Rachel Knapp, now joins us live. Rachel, good evening to you. What can you tell us?
Well, good evening, Kevin. So the president, ever since he returned to office, he has been trying to reduce the federal workforce. But in this continuing resolution, there's a small provision that would essentially rescind some of the administration's work to lay off thousands of federal workers during this shutdown. Now, many federal employees were laid off last month, and in this bill, it would bring them back and prevent any additional reductions in force known as RIFs to the end of January, which is when the continuing resolution comes to an end. Now, it's a huge win for federal workers, their unions, and some Democrats who criticize the administration for these layoffs. The White House press secretary was asked about this provision at a press briefing today. Take a listen.
It's about 6,000 workers total. When you look at that in comparison to the reduction in the federal workforce that this administration has done since January to get rid of the waste, the fraud, the abuse, and to reduce the size of our federal bureaucracy, we've done a lot of great work on that front, and we will continue to. But obviously, the president's main priority was to reopen the federal government and get people back to work, and that's what this deal accomplishes.
Now, Kevin, included in this bill would that those furloughed workers would also be insured back pay. That's something that the administration for weeks said that they could not guarantee that federal workers furloughed would be able to get that back pay. Now, even with all this, after that January 30th deadline, the administration could then continue to reduce their workforce. Back to you.
Rachel, thank you very much as always. Upper Peninsula leaders are warning of an economic crisis in the making. They say new state energy rules could drive up costs and threaten mining jobs. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more on their pushback against the Public Service Commission.
State regulators are moving ahead with clean energy rules that UP lawmakers say could devastate the economy. The plan could shut down the region's natural gas plants, and now lawmakers and industry leaders are calling for a legislative fix.
This plan, as proposed, threatens our region's economic backbone by driving up energy costs through premature retirements of our 13 natural gas plants that were just placed in service in 2018.
The group says ratepayers face surcharges from the decision that could start January 1, costing Cleveland Cliffs up to $14,000 a day.
If these RICE generators are forced to retire early, and UP ratepayers must pay billions of dollars for replacement generation, the continued operation of the Tilden mine will be in jeopardy.
Union leaders say losing the Tilden mine, the last operating iron ore mine in Michigan, would send shockwaves across the region.
If our domestic mines and steel industries are legislated into extinction, these materials will come from foreign sources, usually at a much higher human and environmental cost.
A set of bills waiting in the Senate would carve out natural gas generating plants in the UP from the state's clean energy regulations. Lawmakers say the bills would keep energy costs low and give more time to make a plan.
And if we stick with the current law and go to an intermittent-based resource generation or simply more transmission from Wisconsin, either way, we are facing a crisis.
Supporters say the bills would buy time to develop future clean technologies and preserve hundreds of jobs tied to the state's steel industry. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
The Marquette County Transit Authority is asking for patience this winter as its services continue to increase. This fiscal year, public transportation received a major decrease in state funding, with operation coverage falling from 60% to 38%. Reports from the authority show more than 600 daily riders on fixed routes throughout Marquette County, giving over 225,000 rides across the past year. The head of dispatch at MarkTrans says they will continue to do the best they can.
We are inundated with people calling for door-to-door rides. The route buses, as timely as we'd like to have them, some things are out of our control. We do not have the busing available for the size of the county that we have, but we try to do the best we can with what we have.
MarkTran also suggests requesting your rides as early as possible, even days in advance, to ensure it's available in service. Your first warning weather forecast is after the break. Plus, after a snow delay, Lakeview Elementary holds a hallway parade for veterans. And the Boniface Arts Center in Escanaba is once again putting on display their Northern Exposure exhibit, showcasing some of the best art in the region. We'll be right back.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back. Things are really starting to calm down here across the Upper Peninsula. There's really not much going on. There's just a few isolated showers contained to the Marquette area. Temperatures are colder where we do have the rain at the moment, some upper 30s, but then everyone else we're pretty much looking at the lower 40s. So very comfortable, but we also still have these northwest winds out towards Hancock. The wind gusts are up to maybe 30 miles per hour. These are sustained winds, so it's breezy, it's brisk, especially up to the northern portions of the UP. But we should start to see all of this calm down closer to the weekend, especially for the overnight and tomorrow morning. We shouldn't have any issues for the morning commute. There may be an isolated raindrop or a mix of a wintry mix, wet snowflake out towards the Newberry, Sault Ste. Marie area. But then other than that, things are very well behaved, not seeing too much rain or snow here for Friday. And then the weekend, things might change a little bit too. But the winds, here's where we'll start to see those diminishing winds, less than 10 miles per hour now as we get into late Thursday night. So it'll still be a little bit breezy with some leftover drops, but at least we're past all the heaviest precipitation. Now, there was a really good chance to see the northern lights last night, but I didn't really want to get anyone's hopes up because it was going to be so cloudy. But this stretched as far down as people in Georgia could see it last night, and there is a decent chance of seeing that again for tonight. We have a G4 storm watch, and that goes out of 5, so that's on the higher end of things, and the Upper Peninsula is kind of on the edge of that likely on the red. So as long as you get away from city lights and look to the northern horizon, if you get out between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., you'll have a pretty decent chance if we have the clearing in the cloud cover. The KP index will also be at the highest point, 8, so that is a strong chance of seeing it for tonight. So if you have a chance to get out, it's going to significantly decrease for tomorrow. So if you want to see possibly the northern lights, then tonight is a pretty good night to do so. Hopefully you get some clearing skies on the way. Looking ahead to the weekend across the Upper Peninsula, Marquette, Escanaba, Houghton, and Newberry. The trend here is that Friday is going to be dry. We'll have plenty of sunshine and slightly warmer temperatures. We're even seeing some lower 50s. We might get some scattered showers and slightly decreasing the temperatures for Saturday. That's kind of the transition. And then some of us could start to see that wintry mix, maybe some wet snowflakes for Sunday, with temperatures, especially for Marquette and Newberry and Houghton, closer to freezing into the mid-30s. So there is improvement, but don't get too comfortable because we are still getting closer to the end of fall and early winter. We still have some time, but for tonight it will be colder. We have some temperatures into the upper 20s, lower 30s across the Upper Peninsula, and looks like we could have some decent clearing skies for some of us. So again, the northern lights, not bad to get out and try to view that. Mix of sun and clouds for Friday. We know how the weekend looks, and as we head into the week ahead, we're still going to stay into that colder range, at least drying things out with temperatures into the upper 30s.
Kelly, thank you again. And still to come on your 19 News, Quick Trip is expanding in the UP. We'll tell you about their new locations when we come back.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. Local veterans were honored by a young audience this morning at Lakeview Elementary School's annual Veteran Parade. WZMQ's Andrew Hans has the story.
After an abrupt snow day on Monday, Lakeview Elementary had to postpone its annual Veterans Day Parade until today. Even after the delay, close to 20 veterans came to loop the hallways and give out high fives, as well as meet up with some familiar faces.
We get the word out through the school for any family members that are interested in coming, and I know it's incredibly special to the students and the veterans as they come through and they get to see those students cheering for them. It's pretty special to watch. Monday it was scheduled, the decorations were up, the balloons were ready, but we were able to push it, and we still had a really great turnout, which was wonderful.
Students and staff came to school wearing red, white, and blue in support of their local heroes. Over the week, students also created decorations to line the hallways while learning about the importance of the service done by these individuals.
The students created the artwork as well, and just really understanding the idea of what a veteran means and the sacrifice that they've made. And our theme this month is teamwork, and so it feels like Veterans Day happening during our theme of teamwork fits really nicely together for those conversations.
Local Boy Scout troops held the front of the parade, leading the veterans along with banners and an American flag.
The Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, that's kind of become a tradition for us that they lead our Veterans Day Parade. It's really special to them. They feel a lot of pride in coming in their uniforms and being able to lead that.
Following the parade, veterans were treated with coffee and cookies in the school's cafeteria. Reporting in Negaunee, Andrew Hans, WZMQ 19 News.
This year, a convenience store and fuel station chain has established a much larger presence in the UP. Over the last few years, Quick Trip has set up shops in Sands Township, Gwynn, and Iron Mountain. In October, the chain opened an Ishpeming location on US 41. The store held a ribbon cutting today to celebrate its first few weeks in business, and just today, Quick Trip opened a new location in Escanaba, and staff were greeted by large crowds throughout the day. The Chamber of Commerce held a ribbon cutting this afternoon, and we'll have more on that at 11:10 Central. Escanaba's Boniface Arts Center has unveiled its 32nd annual Northern Exposure exhibit. The Northern Exposure showcases the best of the best art created north of the 45th parallel. This year's exhibit features more than 100 pieces made by 56 artists from Upper Michigan and Wisconsin. Mediums include painting, photography, fiber art, found art sculpture, and woodworking. While there was no theme for the exhibit, the show's juror and gallery director noticed recurring elements in many of the pieces.
To see somebody, say, in the Sioux, not talking to somebody in Iron Mountain, they almost create the same thematic piece, whether it be nature or circles or birds. It's really exciting to see what's in the water.
Several pieces received placement awards, while others have been purchased to go on display at local businesses. Coming up next, we're joined by Easton Zivnaska of Northern Scales Reptiles, who has another animal to show off for Creature Feature. But first, here's your Yoopers United Volunteer Opportunity of the Day. The Lake Superior Village Youth and Family Center is looking for volunteers to adopt a family this holiday season. By registering by December 19th, you can help make sure every child in Marquette wakes up to smiles on Christmas morning. To sign up to be a volunteer or check out other opportunities, just head to youpersunited.com. We'll be right back. I updated the lower third too. Easton, you do a mic check real quick?
Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Welcome back, everyone, and Easton, welcome back to you. Of course,
Yeah,
from Northern
thanks.
Scales Reptiles. Another creature on today, another tarantula. I think it's the second one we've had on.
Yeah, I believe that is the second one. You're right. A lot of people thought October would be it for the arachnids, but there are over 900 species of tarantula out there and potentially way more. So, you know, got to keep going until we get through all 900.
Yeah, I guess so. Tell us about this species.
Yeah, so this is a pink-toed tarantula. These guys are native to South America and Central America, the Virgin Islands that are off the coast there, that are American territories. These guys are by far one of the more friendly arboreal tarantulas, but they're very interesting in the sense that their name literally comes from the fact that they have these little pink toes.
Right.
That whenever they press them down, they have like, they kind of comes together as a whole. When they press down, it splits into two toes. And you see this hook come out that all tarantulas have, but it's so visible because the pink toe outlines it. That hook is what usually goes into your skin and allows them to hold on to you. These guys, though, are really good at climbing with this like high speed, high mobility. They'll do flips, they'll jump through the air. Whenever one gets scared on my hands, they'll kind of just go crazy till they find a nice comfy spot. This one's not too crazy. It's actually my third time handling this one, and it is remarkably friendly. A lot of people are afraid of these guys because of how fast they are, but then in that same sense, better that they're running away than chasing you on that.
Yeah, for sure. When you were bringing them to the desk, you almost got away. They are pretty quick.
Yeah, they are pretty
Jumping
quick.
around almost. Tell us, you might have mentioned already, sorry, so where do they come from?
They come from South America, Central America, that area. The locality of them does change. So if you were to go to northern parts of Central America, like northern Costa Rica, and then you were to go down to, say, Brazil or even like a southern part of Costa Rica, you would notice that there's a change in how they look in color and pattern. Some pink toes have this like stripe that comes down and kind of separates in the abdomen. Others have brighter blues, more pinks, purples. Just depends on the region, how they evolved, what they evolved around, what kind of vegetation or other things were going on, predation, whatnot. That is like a geographical separation, basically, of their species that causes speciation for one group to split because now they're all in these different areas. I always forget it. My professor would be really mad at me because we just learned the term today, but basically they're in the same chunk of land and they've separated over time in that chunk of land to become these different like physical morphs of each other that now become their own species, like a South American pink toe versus a Central American pink toe versus Virgin Islands pink toe, which is a lot more unique because they were actually separated by an island. They were brought over to an island.
Gotcha. And back in the day, my brother Rick brought home a tarantula. My parents, I don't think, were very happy about it. How would you say tarantulas are as pets?
Depends on the tarantula. Oh, yeah, there you go. I was running. Depends on the tarantula, honestly. The more friendly ones, honestly, are way better. These guys are a little more energetic, just to warn you, but they don't really ever bite. They're more like run and gun, try to stay away from you. Or they're like, okay, I'm going to freak you out, do a little jump because I felt something weird. Literally, he could bump into a hair on my arm and be like, oh, that felt weird. I'm going to jump quick and just be done for the run.
Is that what happened just now?
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Or I just might have breathed on him directly.
Oh, gotcha.
His hairs are picking that up on the back here. But I'd say if someone really wants a pet tarantula, if you're looking for one that's terrestrial, somewhere on the ground, I'd say a Texas brown or Brazilian black's a really good one. Or if you're looking for one that likes to climb and isn't going to be a really big pain in the butt if it bites you, pink toes are definitely the way to go. They're super friendly, they're really pretty, and they're really low maintenance.
Good stuff. Easton, appreciate you as always, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We'll have our final look at weather after this.
And a final look at your forecast. We do still have cloudy skies and those nuisance type of showers just hanging around, but it's starting to taper off for the rest of this evening. We should see plenty of clearing for tonight. Temperature is still cold around that freezing mark, but remember we do have a chance to see the northern lights for tonight, so maybe get on out between 10 o'clock and 2 in the morning to try to see if you can see it. It'll be breezy for tomorrow with lots of sunshine and recovering temperatures. Going to be a nice end to the week and a decent weekend ahead, but I'll have more updates on all of that coming up later tonight.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Kelly. And finally tonight, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in Escanaba. This morning, students from the North Country Electrical Line School began decorating the city's Christmas tree at the center court. They placed strands of multicolored lights across the branches and went up in a bucket truck to carefully set the star on top. The students say it's rewarding to be part of the community-wide holiday celebration.
I just enjoy bringing Christmas cheer to the city and all that. I really like the North Country Electrical Line School. A lot of good people, a lot of good instructors. I think it's good that the line school is very involved with the community. Community is very important.
Right now, third graders at Escanaba Upper Elementary School are handcrafting ornaments to hang on the tree next week. The official tree lighting ceremony is scheduled for November 25th at 7 p.m. That's all for now, everyone. We'll see you later tonight.